My friends, I have a solemn update to this morning's story. Earlier today, I said that Electronic Arts' Star Wars Battlefront 2 only shipped a paltry, a measly 9 million copies, compared to the 10 million that they'd expected. Immediately after publication of this video, I was informed that the initial reports were incorrect, or at the very least didn't tell us the full scope, the magnitude of Star Wars Battlefront 2's disgusting, humiliating failure. Rather than rely on those reports, I've gone straight to the horse's mouth, the heart of darkness if you will, to see exactly what Electronic Arts said. This was a call containing both CEO Andrew Wilson and the man who hates pink Darth Vader's Blake Jurgensen. And I'm really sorry that I didn't look at this report in detail first, because honestly it's worse than any of us could have imagined and I should have warned you all. I'm sorry, again, like with the last video, I just feel so bad for them, you know? Actually looking at what Electronic Arts expected, they intended to sell about 8 million units, 8 million copies of Star Wars Battlefront 2, but as they say, they fell short of that by less than 1 million units. What this means is they sold roughly a little over 7 million copies of Star Wars Battlefront 2, which little Timmy's not going to get that operation. That's it. He's going to die. I mean, if I'd have known that the backlash to Star Wars Battlefront 2 would have done this, would have destroyed a company like this, then I never would have joined in with it, you know? I understand that all of that anger and all of that rage and disappointment was wrong. It was wrong of me and many others. We're all accountable here. Fuck us. Fuck us. For expecting Star Wars Battlefront 2 to be a good product that was worth paying $60 for. Fuck us. Hard. In all of our holes. Holes that I offer up to Andrew Wilson. I mean, just pick one and go for it. I'm sorry. If it gets you through this tough time, pick one and go for it. Fucking hell, dog! Well, anyway, now that Bartleby, my beloved dog, has ruined the mood, let's talk about this seriously. So last time we talked about how they expected to ship 10 million but only shipped 9 million. That's not referenced at all in the report here, but it's worth pointing out that shipped and sold are two different things. It's why when Sony released the PlayStation Move originally, they kept boasting about how many units they shipped out and never actually told anyone how many they sold. I mean, I could ship out 10 million clumps of my own pubic hair, but it wouldn't guarantee anybody bought the fucking things. But here is the deal. They expected to sell around 8 million and sold closer to around 7 million. So whatever the figure, they're still a million short. And everything I said in the last video about their learning experiences and all the other alarming shite still holds relevance, which is why I decided to keep that one up. The full report, which I'll link in the video description, tells you some pretty obvious stuff. There are ups, there are downs. Commitments to their so-called live services are up 39%. Their net bookings, aka commitment to spend money on mobile games, is up by 5%, and the credit for that goes to FIFA Mobile. When it comes to the actual full games themselves, the PC and console downloads, EA says they're 27% lower than last year, and they say that was driven by Star Wars Battlefront 2, which, as we already know, underperformed in EA's eyes. Going through EA's statements, the term live services is used about 10 times. And I mentioned in the last video that we should keep an eye on that term. It's a lot catchier than games as service, which is what companies were calling this kind of stuff before. The games as service model, like many ideas in the game industry, is a good one at its core, but it's an idea that's been mutated and mutilated by AAA publishers over the years. Nowadays, when they say games as service, they basically mean you serve up constant money to the publisher. These live services are considered the, quote, main driver of an increase in digital net bookings. A 12% increase and a new record for the third quarter, according to the statements. This suggests EA will, as we've all expected, fully commit to ongoing games. Continued online experiences that open up plenty of avenues for plenty of revenue. Which, at its core, is fine. Except it's Electronic Arts. So it'll probably be shit. Also, it doesn't deserve its own video, but Anthem has been delayed to 2019 instead of 2018 because Electronic Arts doesn't want to step on any other games' toes. This, of course, makes us wonder what the fuck they were thinking with Titanfall 2, which was a fantastic game, yet was competing not only with Call of Duty at the time, but Battlefield 1, another of EA's own games. And I'm not saying it's related, but it was pointed out to me that EA didn't own Respawn Entertainment while they were making Titanfall 2, and after Titanfall 2 came out, they seemed to be in a pretty good position for Electronic Arts to acquire them. But no, that is genuine conspiracy theorising on my part. Read nothing into that. Just expect EA to do with Respawn what it does with every studio it acquires and run it into the fucking ground before slitting its throat. Anyway, more shit you've got to look forward to is an upcoming Battlefield title, 2 new mobile games built around what they call fan favourite IP, yet more desperate grabs for esports attention, and they say, we'll continue to deliver for players through our live services, including Star Wars Battlefront 2, with more great content for the games they love. According to them, this collection of amazing games and content across more platforms, wrapped in live services, is at the core of the network we are building for our players. Yeah, I'm sure it's all for us, isn't it? They also mentioned subscription offerings here, so keep an eye out for more of that bollocks too. In short, Battlefront 2 fucked up, ha ha ha, but live services is the message of the year. Which basically means EA doesn't really intend to learn much at all. It's just gonna learn to clothe its money grabbing a little bit more subtly than it did with Battlefront 2. And really at this point, after everything EA has done, it has to be reiterated from me on a personal level. I absolutely cannot give the first littlest fuck about Anthem. And again, I'm sorry if that upsets people at BioWare working on it. I know it's not your fault, but your publisher has killed my interest. Goodbye!